to talk about all things wedding. I have been married now for just over a year, so I feel like this is the perfect time to go through everything that I did when I was in the depth of planning, and I wanted to walk you guys through my wedding timeline, like the guideline of how long in advance I planned things, got things ready. I'm very type A, so I was very on top of things basically, and this is kind of from like earlier than a year on towards your wedding date. I've got all of the stuff on my phone, which is what I am going to be looking at for you guys. Our wedding was in August in 2023, and it was at the Mullaney Manor. Here are some photos of the wedding. It was absolutely beautiful. I have some thoughts as well, and I'm thinking of doing a full like wedding regrets video too, so definitely keep an eye out for that because I will be doing that. But I wanted to walk you through my timeline, which I think is super important when you're planning a wedding. Let's start straight away with a year prior. So this is at the latest a year before your wedding, or like pretty much as soon as you get engaged and you're looking to have your wedding within a year and a half, say. This is what I would start doing. 1, decide a date, very important. 2, book a venue. Venues book out, guys, like sometimes like 2 years in advance. So if you have your eyes set on a venue, you need to be booking it ASAP, like probably the first thing to do. Pick a date and book a venue. Sometimes, like if you're not fussy on the date, then you would go to your venue first and see what dates that they have available. But I would say my very first step was locking in our venue, which I'm so glad we did because it was the perfect venue for us. It was literally my dream location to get married. Next, this might be controversial, but I actually started looking for my wedding dress more than a year to go from my wedding. I didn't obviously get it like until it was ordered and closer to my wedding, but I definitely looked for it because especially if you're getting it made, like made for you, it takes quite a while. So make sure you're locking it in as early as you can. Like, why have the pressure of feeling stressed? Like, you want to be able to go wedding dress shopping feeling happy and like not stressed and under the pump to make a decision. So the earlier you can start, the better. Book a celebrant, book the photographer and the videographer. So important, they book out like crazy, those 3 people especially. So really make sure you do some research on who you want, and then you can book them depending on, hopefully they have availability. A little tip is don't get married on a weekend. If you're not like, don't care what date, I recommend not getting married on the weekend. 1, it's dearer, and 2, the people that you're booking have very limited spaces around weekends. So we had a weekday wedding and it was perfect. Book your musician, book your florist, draft your guest list, just like a rough guide of what you guys are thinking. Book your hair, book your makeup, and also have a look in your mind, like start researching wedding rings, just because you can keep an eye on them if they ever go on sale, things like that. So you just have them in the back of your mind. You don't have to necessarily purchase them like a year out, obviously, but just keeping them in mind in case they do pop up, go on special or something like that. Then we move into about, this is 12, 11, 10 months to go. I researched save the date design because I created all of our save the dates invitations all myself. So the save the dates, we were just going to do them digitally. So researching save the date designs, we finalized our guest list. I created the save the date designs on Canva, finalized it, checked it off with John. Next one is to organize your dates for your bucks, hens, bridal shower. Just having dates in your mind of when you want to have those things. Also having a look into your honeymoon if that is something that you are wanting to do. Getting, again, dates, pricing, just a lot of research information. Looking at your bridesmaids dresses. Suits for the boys for us weren't as important, but I only had one bridesmaid, which was my sister, so it was very, very easy. I actually did buy the dress in October. It must have been on sale or something, but yeah, luckily my sister stayed the same size, but it wouldn't have been an issue if she hadn't of, but we ended up, I bought that 10 months out. In November, which was 9 months to go, I sent out the save the date digitally via text message. It was like a cute little graphic. I might put a picture here actually. It was a nice little graphic that we sent to everyone and just said like, we can't wait to celebrate with you, please save the date. And then like, we had already booked in our venue at this point, so we had started to pay installments. 8 months to go, I started to design our invitations. I was doing all of this by hand with the Cricut, with Canva. So this was a big process for me, so I needed to start it as soon as possible. And then we just had some work to do with our celebrant, like a getting to know us sort of situation, so that she can customize our ceremony to go with that. 7 months to go, we started to look at suits for my husband, just having a look online, trying on things, seeing what we can do. We also were looking into transport for our guests, getting them to and from our venue. We started compiling all of the addresses for our guests. So yeah, making sure we have everyone's correct addresses so we can send out their invitations. And I started making inquiries with the cake makers as well. 6 months to go. I paying installments to people, contacting the florist, just making sure we have the same vision and theme. I started to shop for my shoes and my jewelry. Again, made some more inquiries with cake makers. I booked our transport and I booked our cake. So that's how far in advance I booked that. 6 months to go. 5 months to go. This is when it starts to get like pretty hands-on, pretty hectic. My wedding dress had arrived. So I did purchase my wedding dress a year before the wedding, and it had arrived in March, which is 5 months to go, which I was fine with. We kept it on a mannequin so that it wouldn't like, not fade, like I can't think of the word, but like lose its shape. So we had it on a mannequin and it was in mum's house and it was breathable and all sorts, so it was fine. And then I had to organize for the dress to be altered. I created our RSVP form, which I did on Google Forms, super easy. It was just a QR code on our invitations so that they could easily just fill in the form online. We booked our honeymoon accommodation and flight. I started our DIYs, so we DIY'd everything, signage, place cards, wishing well, like literally anything you can think of, we DIY'd. We had to make a start on all of that. I had a meeting with our celebrant to see her in person. We were organizing accommodation for our venue. So at the Mulaney Manor, you could have people stay on site the night of the wedding. So we were just picking who was able to stay, who we wanted to stay. We planned out my hens night, which I ended up doing a really intimate hens with my mum and my sister only. I have that as a video on my YouTube if you want to watch that. I finalized our invites, designs and materials. Invites were ready to go and we started writing our vows. So that is 5 months to go. We started writing our vows because our celebrant said to us, like, you don't want to be stressing about writing your vows like a week before, 2 months before, whatever. Get them out of your head. Like, your feelings for this person aren't going to change in 5 months. So write your vows now. So we started writing our vows. Now we're on to 4 months to go, sending our invites. So we sent our invites 4 months out and this was taken to the post office, like they were done. I continued to work on all of our signage, but like the bar sign, like the seating chart, the welcome sign, all of that. We contacted guests about parking because we had limited parking, so we had to select what guests could have parking. My veil was delivered, my dress was altered and picked up. We sent our vows off and I booked in activities for our hens. So that was 4 months to go. Okay, now we're on 3 months to go. So this is when things start happening with your vendors. They can really start thinking about what they're going to do for you. So I ended up booking in for my makeup trial. So trialing my makeup to see what I wanted on the day. The same thing with my hair trial. We had a big meeting with our venue about everything, like what drinks we wanted to serve, what food we wanted, like selecting all the finer details. I booked in my nails for my hens, but also for my wedding, just to lock in that day. I booked in my haircut and I booked in my spray tan for both my hens and my wedding. So just getting all the appointment going. I then also had a bridal shower. So I was making arrangements for that, creating a Facebook event. It was very, very chill, the bridal shower. It was just like a high tea. And so I just had to invite everyone to come on that day. And then, as I said, payments are still coming out for vendors at this point as well. 2 months to go. We are getting all our seating stuff ready for our venue. We are keeping track of all of our RSVPs and who's coming and who's not, so that we can finalize like all your seating arrangements. We bought my husband's suit. We bought the groomsman's suit. Again, it was only one. I got the seating signage ready, got the wishing well. We had a questionnaire from our photographer we filled out. We started like thinking of wedding playlists and choosing all of the important songs that we would want played on all our special moments with our musician. And I started getting the gifts for family for the wedding day. So like for my dad, we got a tie with like a photo of us on the back of the tie when I was younger. So I got that. And we also had our hens and our bucks parties in June with 2 months to go. We're now on 1 month to go. So I designed and created our place cards, designed and ordered the menus. I finalized the whole day timeline with the venue, making sure everything is good to go. Booked in my eyebrow appointment and my lip wax, checking in with all my vendors, making sure everyone's good to go, they don't need anything from me, finalizing any honeymoonings, creating our wedding favors, organizing our bridal shower games, worksheets, just getting that all ready to go. And then I sent out the venue our final documentation with like just over a month to go until our wedding. It had to be finalized, so we have booked, everything was set in stone, people were set in stone, so no matter if anyone pulled out at that point, we were still paying for them. So something to keep in mind with your venue, usually it's like a month out that that's it, like cut off the food and everything's getting ordered. So it is what it is. And I hated hearing when I was like getting ready that people were gonna pull out. I was like, yeah, it won't even happen to me. We had people pulling out the night before our wedding, like seriously throughout the whole lineup. And my biggest advice would just be, let it go. Like there's nothing more you can do. Don't let it affect you. Just keep on going, let it go. They're not there, they're not there. There's more food for people to eat. My biggest advice, yeah, would just be like, just go with the flow. So a lot of the month before was just like finalizing things with our vendors, making sure everything was good to go, everyone was on the same page, like pick up, drop off, like what was happening where, just so that we're all over it and everyone is on the same page and that it's going to be a super easy day for you. And now we are on to the actual wedding month. This is the final time for all payments. So all payments had been made by the wedding date, obviously. I had all of the appointments come up. So my brows, my nails, my spray tan. I had our bridal shower, little bits and bobs. Like we had a candle on the night for people that had passed away. So we bought that. We also wrote letters to each other for the morning of. So like little details like that. We were writing letters to our families for like to my mom on my wedding day. We got everything ready like way in advance so that we weren't stressed, and even our letters to ourselves of the morning of, which I really recommend because that was super sweet to wake up and have John's letter. So just all that. I had like a flat lay box organized for our photographer, so it was super easy for her to take like flat lay shots of our invitation, our menus, so she doesn't have to go scrounging around the wedding to find stuff. I just had extras put aside for her. I had everything organized in boxes for the venue to kind of just pick them up and straight away be able to put them on the tables. So like all my place cards were in order of how they were sitting with the table numbers and things like that. So everything was starting to get boxed so that we could take them to the venue, because we left for our honeymoon 2 days after our wedding. So we were just making sure we had everything organized because we went overseas. So we had to make sure we had the PowerPoints and the cash and everything sort of ready to go. And then we wrote our speech for the night. So we did a toast to everyone during the reception, both John and I. So we wrote the speech together and we just had it on our phone ready to go for our speech, so we didn't have to think about it. Then basically you go and get married. You take everything there. Oh, actually I forgot one thing. 1 month out, practice your first dance. Even though if you're not doing no crazy moves or anything like that, that's totally fine. But I suggest just maybe planning out roughly like how many little turns you want to do. Like if you want to turn into a circle as you're dancing. We just kind of did a little practice run a couple of times just to figure out where we were going to go, what we were going to do, because I feel like I didn't practice my father-daughter dance with my dad, and like we didn't know what we were doing. We were just like gliding along and it was just like kind of awkward, and we kind of like we cut it off short because I was like, we're just doing the same thing over and over again. Whereas with John's, like we did the full length of the song obviously, but we had like little moves in there to kind of like keep it interesting. There's lots of like little moves on like TikTok and things like that that are super easy, but I would recommend practicing it because you just don't want to get there and be like, and that's it. So we did practice that a month, like during the month of our wedding too. Then you go off and you go and get married, which is so exciting. I think back on like my day and I just have the best memories from the day. Seriously, I really love everything that we did on our day, but there are a couple things that I would do differently that I'm gonna save for my next video, which will be my wedding regret. So I hope this timeline has helped you. I know it was a lot of me talking and throwing ideas at you, but you can 100% like write these down. Or if I was thinking about creating like an actual wedding timeline document with all of these notes that I have and any little tips that I might want to add to it as like a little like digital download sort of situation. So if you are interested in that, please let me know, because I would 100% make that for you guys. I just wasn't sure if you would be down for that. So please let me know if you would like everything I just said into a nice easy checklist of a timeline guideline. A timeline guideline, is that a thing? But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys like have the best time prepping for your wedding. This is the most exciting time. Like, even though it might not feel like it, like the prep part is so exciting, and try to just like really be in the present with it and take it all in and be so excited, and try and include your partner as much as possible too. Just try and make it a time that you guys can really get to do this together, because yeah, it's super special and like you only really get to do it once. So just have the best time. Try and just take it day by day, month by month, ticking off those little things, and you will have the absolute best wedding. I hope you found this super helpful. Again, let me know if you want the digital download and I'll get that for you guys. And I will see you in my next one, which will be my wedding regret. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.